Hi everyone, my name is Keely and I'm the owner and creator here at Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for another soap making video. I am super excited about this soap. I have a brand new mold courtesy of Wickedly Goods. I also have a new piece of soapy equipment which I asked my husband to help me build, and if you follow along with me on Instagram you would have already seen what that is. I am using a massive 6 colours in this soap and also using a pour technique that I've never done before but really wanted to have a go at, and now that I have my new mould I can have a go at it. Today's soap I will be using Nature's Garden Aromatherapy Energizing, so let's go and see what all these new things are. Okay, so let's get started. I have in my big bucket here all of my usual oils, and I say a big bucket, usually I work in a 3-litre bucket, and today I have got a 5-litre just to make sure that it holds all of my soap mix here. And in my smaller bucket here I have my sodium hydroxide and distilled water solution, and I am working at full water today because I want to try and make sure that this stays nice and fluid so I can get this technique right. So I'm going to start as always by pouring my sodium hydroxide water solution into my oils, giving it a bit of a mix and bringing it to emulsion before splitting it out for the colours. So I measured the first one off camera so that I could be sure to get the correct weight, and then I've used that sort of height level as a guideline for filling all of these other ones because I want to make sure that they are fairly even. So I am going to add into this one some Wellington mica, and all of these are from My Mica Obsession. This one here is some Tangelo mica. In my next pot I am going to add some Caribbean. This one will go a really funky sort of colour, and then we'll come back to that lovely green colour we see there. And you can probably already tell what I am going to be doing as we move on to some Catalina blue mica. Might just add a little bit more of that because blues never seem to really hold that well, or you don't seem to get those really nice bright blues anyway. This one here is some Eminence mica. And then finally I have some Nurture Soap Really Red mica to go into this pot. So I'm going to get these colours mixed in, and then we are going to put our fragrance in. So I've just put my fragrance oil in, and I'm going to hand stir it in because I really want this to stay fluid. Today I am using Energising, and it smells so good. It's a nice clean fragrance, gives you a really good pick-me-up. It's got notes of spearmint, peppermint, lemon, wintergreen, gardenia, jasmine, and is on a base of rose and musk. First time I smelt this one, I really wanted to do it in a rainbow soap, but I didn't want to do it in layers. Now I was watching a video from Wickedly Goods a little while ago, and she did a column pour, and I said how much I really wanted to give a go at doing it, but first of all needed to get myself a slab mold. Now she did have a couple spare, so she offered to send me one. So she has sent me one of those molds, and I decided I wanted to do a column pour in rainbow. So hopefully this will all come together. So now that is all mixed in, I am going to go and grab the mold and we will get to pouring. So here is the slab mold that I am going to be using today, and it fits my sort of size bars perfectly. I'm going to get 27 bars of soap out of this. I'm really happy about it. So as I mentioned, I'm going to do a column pour, and from my sort of understanding of doing column pours, depending upon what the column shape is that you use in the middle will depend what sort of pattern you get on the inside. I'm going to go for a square one. So I've got this plastic container here, and I've actually filled it up with water so that it stays nice and weighted down in the middle of my soap here so it doesn't move as we start pouring. I'm going to place that in the middle, and I'm going to start with my red and work through the colours of the rainbow, and I am just going to pour it into the centre and let the soap run down. I know I'm going to end up with lots of soap splashed all over my benches, so I'm not even going to pretend here to keep it nice and clean, I don't think. I'm hoping by using the square we'll get the sort of flower pattern that you get when doing these column pours. So we'll go there. I've seen people do triangles, I've seen hexagons, I've seen a plain circle as well. There are so many different ways in which you can do these. You do, from my understanding, have to have a fairly fluid batter or work quite quickly. So we're going to get this one in here as quick as I can so I don't run out of working time. To do now, because I'm nearing the end, just gonna knock that bit of purple off the top. I am going to very gently pick that one up out the middle there. Whoa, this is a nice messy technique. I'm just going to sit that one in there for now, and what I'll end up doing is actually wiping a lot of that soap off and popping it into another mold so we don't waste any. And what I'm going to do with just this leftover soap is I'm going to very gently pour it into the middle here. I'm going to have to leave it at that. I really needed to actually fill this mold right up to the top to get my 27 bars. So I will have to work on that a little bit more, but I'm starting just to get a real mess on the top if I keep going at it. So I am going to leave it at that, and I'll use this leftover to do some sample bars. What I am going to very quickly do is just grab my chopstick here, and I am just going to pull down into the centers, go back down there, from there, like that, just trying to get a bit of a flower shape in the center there. So I am going to, let's just give it a wobble and get a bit more movement there as well. All right, I'm going to stop playing now. I am going to leave this one set overnight, and probably actually have to leave it set for a couple of days because it's so much bigger. And then we'll come back and I will show you my next toy. So if you are following along with me on Instagram, you would have seen that this is my other new toy that I have. I have hubby help me build this log splitter so that I could use the soap mold, and a good friend and also market organizer cut these little stepping pieces here in some acrylic for me so I can actually adjust the height of the wire to what I need. So I'm going to go and grab our slab of soap and we're going to see if this works. So here is the slab of soap, and I'm really pleased with how this one is looking. You can see that the yellow, the orange and the green have all really picked up in color again. So I'm really pleased about that. It is time to see if this cutter is going to work. So I am going to put it down on its side this way and let's go. So I'm just going to push on it. Oh, okay, yep. Oh my goodness, it is going through like butter. Oh, that is so good. I made it extra long so I could make sure that my slabs didn't fall off the back. We'll pick that piece off, and look at that. That looks so good on the inside. So, and that's looking pretty nice and even as well. So I'm really pleased with that piece, and I can't believe how easily that has just cut that piece. I will cut another one because I should be able to get 3 little logs going this way. So I'll pop that back down and push back through. I can't believe how easily it's cutting. I am so proud of me and my husband for actually doing this. We have very little to no woodworking skills, although I did do the workshop, like put all the paneling up on the walls and everything. I really do not have that many woodworking skills, and my husband absolutely hates doing woodwork, to the point that I asked him to bring me a hammer one day and he brought me back a wrench and he said it would do the same thing. So I am so proud that we have managed to come up with this cutter. I'll just get this final piece cut, and I should end up with a couple of sample pieces off here if I have calculated my measurements right. And yes, we will. So through we go, and then I'm going to go and get the single bar cutter, and I am going to cut this up into the bars of soap. Okay, so to get the full effect of this column pour, rather than just slicing down and creating my bars of soap, what I'm going to do is cut this into thirds, which I've worked out. I should be able to get just a tiny piece off the end, which again will go as a sample piece, but also gives me a nice decorative edge to my bar. So we'll cut that piece off there, and then we will move this along right to the edge, which will take me up to 7 centimeters. So that will be how high our soap will be. So we'll get these ones all cut into these big square blocks, because you can see if I was to actually cut bars, that would be the style of pattern that I got in each of my bars of soap. But I'm hoping by cutting it the way I'm going to, we will get some really nice patterns. So again, I'm going to cut through that piece. And I'm going to do all of these so I end up with 9 blocks, and then we will come back and we will cut the next bit. So I have all of my pieces now cut into their blocks, and I've got my single bar cutter all back to size. They are going to be a little bit narrower than what my normal soap bars are, but I will actually adjust the price of these to suit. But I was just really wanted to have a go at this pour to see what I got. We'll have a look at what we get when we cut these this way. So basically almost ended up with a layer through this one, but you do get that really interesting look all the way around that bar of soap. I'm really pleased with how the colours have come together, and I was a little bit worried about this one. The fragrance oil, it smells great out of the bottle. It really is very energizing, and that sort of spearmint, peppermint and lime really hit you and do make you feel energized. When I first pulled this out the mold, I could no longer actually smell it again, and I was a bit disappointed by that. You can smell it a little bit. It's very, very faint to smell, so I probably wouldn't go out of my way to do this particular fragrance again. The other thing, when I was actually pouring this one, I ended up with a little bit of ricing. It was fine when I first started to pour, but as the soap actually sat there, I ended up with, as I got through the colours, I noticed that the blue and the purple had started to rice just very slightly. Well, I like how that one's come up. And it was kind of at that point where I didn't really want to stick blend, because I didn't want to lose that working time. And if I stick blended just those 2 colours, I would probably end up with thicker sort of batter than all of the other colours, and I just didn't want to take that risk. So if you do get the aromatherapy energizing, just be aware there is some slight ricing, but as I said, I didn't stick blend, and you can't tell that those 2 colours, I like the insides of them, those 2 colours did rice on me. So it's something that you just have to see what happens with your colours, because as I said, it only happened in the purple and the blue. It didn't happen in the yellow, orange or the red, and I don't think it was in the yellow either, so I'm not sure why it reacted just to those two specific colours. So we'll get this one cut again. And I'm really loving how each of these bars is just completely different. Some of them I am going to end up, when you look at them, you've got the layers going up the soap, and then this one is going across. So that's actually quite amazing to see how each of these bars are going to be so different when they're sitting on the shelf as to which way the stripes are going. Okay, so we are now going to cut the very last piece here, and this is actually the center of the soap, so I'm really keen to see what this one looks like in the middle. I am so pleased I got to give the column pour a go, and I will be doing it again but using some different shapes to see what we get on the inside. And we'll have a look at inside them. Oh wow, that is the middle. I really like this piece. I think that would have to be my favorite. Looks like there's a butterfly. There's the bottom and there's the top of it just flying off to the corner there. I really like that one. I am so pleased that I finally got to give this a go, and thank you again to Wicked Leaf for helping me out with getting that slab mold. I am so grateful to my husband for helping me build my log splitter, and I'm so pleased that it actually did work for me. And I will be doing some more in the slab and using that cutter too. Oh wow. Now that is a really good piece to finish with. I really like that. It looks like something from out of the 80s with some hypercolor or something. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed watching me make my very first column pour slab mold soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. If you've got any questions, I will certainly get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And until the next time, I hope you have a great week. Bye.